Welcome to Around the Weird. Here's your host, the museum curator of the strange and unusual, Mr. Nothing.
Thank you, mysterious voice, and welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I've found in my travels. Today it is Poetry Thursday, so I want to talk about some intriguing poetry that I have found in my travels, and it is also the period of Pride where I am talking about LGBT poets for the next 2 or so months, basically until I decide to stop. And today's poem is all about telling things to go away, banishing things. I am referring to Awus Awus by Gwen Benaway. For those who don't know, Gwen Benaway is a Canadian writer who has been getting their work published for about the past 15 years or so. They are transgender, which is central to their identity. They focus on transphobia. They also work as an activist. She has written a number of books of poetry, and she frequently talks about how she's indigenous, but there is some sort of skepticism from others about that. I don't really know much about that either way, but seems like an intriguing writer, and I'm glad that I found her work. So without further ado, let's talk about Awus Awus. I will read it, do a little bit of analysis, and we will move on from there. Awus Awus. Awus Awus every day, walking by people who stare or laugh, call me names, threaten this body. They're confused by my vintage dresses and my 5 o'clock shadow, the eyeliner, mascara-rimmed eyes, and blue highlight. Awus Awus every day I say, get back, go away. These dogs that follow me, yes, it's true. I look like a man in a dress and heels. It upsets them. I know I won't be invisible like before. They're hunting me every place I go. I ask myself, is it safe? It never is. Just these words, an insult in Ojibwe, speak to a human like a begging dog. Awus Awus. If my Gookum asks why I'm so rude, I'll tell her. They started it. Anyways, that was Awus Awus. In terms of analysis, there's a little bit worth talking about here. The first thing is repetition. There's no strict narrative here, but there is a lot of repetition. The narrator repeats the phrase Awus Awus, which is an Ojibwe phrase, I believe, as they say in this poem. And it just means go away. So repeating the phrase go away. Now, why might you be doing that? Well, I think it's pretty simple to understand there. The people that the narrator encounters are transphobic, and if you repeat Awus Awus, it's kind of like a ritual. It's banishing these foul people to another realm. Hopefully, that's what needs to be done. But it's a good thing, kind of telling yourself, these people aren't permanent. I have the power to control who I put in my life, which is something that I think a lot of transgender individuals try to do, having found family and things like that. So pretty important aspect of the poem. And then I do also think there's a little bit of dichotomy, a little bit of sort of clash of visuals in this poem. The narrator says they're confused by my vintage dresses and my 5 o'clock shadow, the eyeliner, mascara, rimmed eyes, and blue highlight. And so you think about like dresses and 5 o'clock shadow in our typical gender normative culture, those don't seem to blend well. But in this new reality where gender is a social concept and not a true defined biological thing, no matter how much conservatives want to tell you that, that's something that is normal, or is normal. Nothing is really normal, but many things they're fine. Like it's not a problem if somebody wants to wear a dress and have 5 o'clock shadow. Although I do think a lot of transgender people might have a little bit of dysphoria about having that 5 o'clock shadow, because it doesn't align with maybe how they see themselves. But I'll leave that to another person to kind of talk about there. But I do think kind of like clash of visuals is another interesting element of this poem. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Awus Awus by Gwen Benaway. Pretty solid poem. Definitely a lot of fun to read, especially aloud. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I will also put a link to the poem in the description, so you can read it and find more of Gwen Benaway's work in the future. But other than that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that more people can find Gwen's work, or the just share the name of the poem, or even just if they want to find out more about Poetry Thursday, they can if they feel like it. But until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and Awus Awus based travels. Farewell.